the fans wanted a way to kind of forget about that, have some fun before, during, after the game with a tailgating experience. It's essentially like having a living room to tailgate in outside of Williams-Brice Stadium. Born in Chesterfield, raised in Kirkwood, molded in Columbia, now employed in Kansas City, Jeremy Macklin is coming home. You want to take a look inside this one? It's basically like you have a little living room here to be able to tailgate in. Very unique. But for those deaf athletes and fans, the thrill of competition is just the same. They are going to win in walk-off fashion. They run onto the field, but hold on. Let's rewind a little bit. Not so fast. We got to take another look at this because as the ball skips off the wall, it appears to go over the wall. Take a look right there. It hits above the wall. Should have been a ground rule double. The Reds would come out and try to challenge that play, but they were told that the game was over and the Cardinals will gladly take that lucky break. They win the game 4-3.
I would say he's the heart of Tolton Athletics.
No, she's not talking about Michael Porter Jr. She's talking about Tolton chaplain and Lady of the Lord's priest Mike Coleman, who students say is the driving force behind their sports teams.
He's always there supporting us. He really means everything to the athletics here.
Could be a junior varsity game like this for a sport no one watches, and he'll still be there. That kind of shows how much he cares about athletics here.
If you see Father Mike on Sundays, you see his enthusiasm. And he enjoys seeing that same enthusiasm from the kids at Tolton.
I just love it when our kids get excited about stuff, whether it's singing at Mass or cheering in a game.
Those kids spend a lot of their time cheering on a five-star basketball recruit. Even that guy, the one with the most fans in town, is a fan of Father Mike's too.
He's never negative and prays with us before the games, really get us in the right mindset, and we all owe him a big thanks.
His influence isn't limited to the high school ranks. Missouri basketball's Cunningham sisters are touched by his enthusiasm, even though they went to Crosstown Rockbridge High School.
The second he met me, he took me in as if he'd been my priest all growing up, and he's just so supportive.
I didn't even go to Tolton, but he just cares so much for me, and he reaches out to me, and that means a lot.
Father Mike has inspired many talented athletes, but his aim is to reach athletes of all talent levels and make sure they know one thing.
They can make a real difference. And if I can do one little tiny thing to help somebody make that difference in their life, if I can make any kind of a little tiny difference in somebody's life, that's what my life is all about.
Whether they dunk or shoot, athletes in Columbia and elsewhere know they can make a difference thanks to Father Mike. And they do, every single day.
And you know that hard work is going to show and pay off for one of these teams. We're going to be here at 5 and 6. Maybe I'll leave an umbrella for you guys. And obviously you lost Travis Dean from a year ago, big playmaker. Also, most of your offensive line. How have you tried to scheme this year to still take advantage of the running game? Ledmus Diaz grew up on the same street as Fernandez. He missed yesterday's game to attend his friend's memorial service. Back in action tonight, and sometimes things have a way of working themselves out. Bases loaded, Cardinals down 1.
Diaz, high drive, left center, it is gone!
A grand slam for Diaz, clearly emotional at the plate with Yadier Molina. Cardinals leading 12-5 currently in the 8th, and I think we know who he is pointing to.
Friday nights in Mexico have all the familiar sights, tastes, and sounds of high school football. Another familiar sight, Bob Gooch.
And then the fall of '60, I came to Mexico.
He's been here ever since, but before Mexico, he played football at Mizzou in the 1950s.
And I played for a great coach, Don Farrow, which the field over at the university is named after. He was like a second father to me, and he always took care of his players.
Which is what he strived to do after taking a spot on the Mexico football coaching staff.
It was just natural. I tried to treat those kids like they were my own, and I didn't want them coached and treated in there. So, and that was sort of Coach Fro's philosophy on that.
His whole life has been you know, teaching kids more than just how to play a game. You know, it's how to live and what life's all about, and that's what athletics, I think, does for people.
Gooch became Mexico's athletic director in 1975 and retired in 1988, but that hasn't stopped him from going to every Mexico football game.
I don't miss too many, and I try to get to a little bit of everything.
For his dedication to the athletic program and the community, the school's gymnasium was named after him, but he hopes his lasting legacy is more than a name on the gym.
I would hope that I would be remembered for respecting the kids, knowing the kids, working with the kids. I'm just happy to be in Mexico.
Go, go! So every time the seasons change,
I look forward to every fall and just enjoy it.
You can bet Bob Gooch will be on the Mexico sideline, watching the next generation, remembering the past ones.
I've known him for 53 years, and Bob Gooch will always be Coach Gooch to me.
He's not the only one.
I was going back home from church just to get some things, and I saw the wreck, headed back to Columbia. I had pulled my truck over to not be in any way of the wreckage, got out. I saw smoke at first and then saw flames, and then I know I had to do something.
But it's typical of Jacob, you know, he was very humble about it, didn't even mention it, wasn't looking for any pat on the back or gratitude, just something that he did, you know, and the credit I give is to his parents, the way he was brought up.
Reached in, grabbed Pam Maxwell out, passed her to another gentleman who helped her across the street, and I went back for Bob Maxwell, whose leg had been pinned in from the dashboard. I grabbed him under the shoulders and told him we had to get him out, we had to get his foot free. He managed to free his foot from the dashboard, and we pulled him out just in the nick of time before the truck completely caught on fire.
He had surgery on his hand, so when he pulled the Maxwells out, you know, it was with a hand in a cast too.
I've been in contact with Bob and Pam. They needed help moving, so me and my football team, my defense, and my coach here, we went out to their house and helped them move things after they had lost their truck in the wreck.
So we had a little get-together after practice, and I called Jake. We were getting ready to condition, and I pulled Jacob up, you know, and I said, hey, you know, guys, I've never met a superhero before. I go, this is Batman, for real. You know, I told him the story, and we let him go in without any running after practice. It's kind of a reward for his heroism.